And we have with us J.A.R.S, the majority of the band of J.A.R.S, right?
The band. Now, guys, J.A.R.S. I'm just going to guess.
J.A.R.S.
Okay? I am assuming it's an acronym.
Not peanut butter,
No.
J.A.R.S.
Jesus always rescues sinners. Is that the acronym? Is that what it
J.A.R.S.
means? Who came up with the name?
Jake can answer this one.
No.
It's very good.
It's out of Matthew chapter 9, actually, is the reference where it talks about Andy Rosas Snyder.
Yes. We're in the Bible. Yeah.
I thought we were going deep. We're going deep. And I was gonna look like
It's mine and his initials, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's call it Jesus always rescues sinners, because I totally just blew your name out of the water.
Bam! Yeah, now it has
It's a
meaning.
multifaceted name.
Chelsea, why do you think I have him as a co-host? Because he brings it around, man. He always gets it going. So these are the local artists.
Yeah.
So we're doing a show live on the 25th. That's this March. That's this weekend. And
Right.
it billed as be there, right?
Yeah.
Be there.
Oh, yeah.
Say it again.
Be there.
That's right.
23rd,
The
right?
23rd of March. That's 180 422 West Gurley Street. And you guys are the local artists. We wanted to get to know the artists. We wanted to know who's, because I mean, you guys could get up there and sing, and that's all we get to hear about you. We don't know about where you came from, who you are, what kind of music you like. I mean, obviously we have some mega talent. I mean, sitting right in front of me, the girl has got some talent, and the guys are all right. But
Aretha Riles.
that's right. I heard you say that several times.
Hey, you got soul.
Yeah,
I'm serious.
That's good stuff.
You got soul.
She does, man.
I'm talking like.
Put some stank on it, you
Hey.
know? Tell us about the band. Tell us how you guys formed. I mean, actually, you guys have all been in other bands. Chelsea has been in bands all over the world, actually. You've probably done music in Samoa and other places in the country and around the world. And you guys have been in other bands. I think you were in a band.
It was written.
It was written.
Yeah.
Then, Jake, you've led other bands, and you're a quite well-rounded songwriter with your brother and yourself, and you've been in different types of bands. So tell us about J.A.R.S.
J.A.R.S started when Andy and I kind of came up with some hooks that we liked. We like a variety of music, both of us. So we just thought we put a clean perspective on hip hop in general, which is where it came from.
And so how did you amass the membership?
We thought, who can sing good? And then we said Chelsea.
You know, I just want to mention that we have the best members of the night. We you know, so the people that didn't make it, they are so-so.
Dude, I just
wanted to jab them because they were supposed to be here for the interview, but they didn't make it.
J.A.R.S. #No Mason. Huh? Jesus always rescues sinners.
Oh, by the way, shout out to Kieran for
Yes,
making it
again.
again.
Yes.
He's
Thank
always
you.
here. He's our producer. He's making it happen. He's on the switches back there. We love that guy. Chelsea, tell us a little bit about your music, what you like, and what are your influences?
That's definitely like changed a lot. I really like R&B, I like rap, I like hip hop, and I like rock rap. And so that's why I've kind of done like different variations of that music.
Okay.
As for music influences, it again just kind of varied. I liked Lauren Daigle for a while. I liked Trip Lee, Andy Mineo, Lecrae.
Cool.
That was a lot of my influences growing up. Yeah.
The thing that came to my mind when you said rock rap was the album 116 put out, Amped. Yeah, that album was really
good.
cool.
And then Skillet too. I really like Skillet.
All right.
Very good. Very
Andy,
good.
what about you, man? Were you into music before you were saved, or?
Music, I've never been. I never rapped before I was saved. We freestyled every now and again, you know, and most of the times I wasn't sober when we did that. We were just messing around.
Slurred.
I like a lot of music, to be honest with you. I'm not.
Okay.
I don't like just rap. I love country.
He's a country boy.
Yeah, there you go.
I do like rap a lot, so that was a good opportunity to be involved, and I really do enjoy it. So it stretches your brain for sure, because it's not easy to write sometimes.
So speaking of writing, a couple of songs you guys are going to do, you and Jake actually wrote.
Yeah.
You actually wrote these songs. So, I mean, not only are they popular hits, but they are originals. This show, it has my name on the flyer, and, you know, Edgar's kind of bitter about that because he didn't
That's
make the
not
flyer. I did put you on the...
lie.
Put that flyer back up, by the way. Put that flyer back. You see it says with Richie Merck and Edgar.
Yes!
Yeah. Don't forget to come on out. We're with J.A.R.S right now. Come and see them this weekend right here at the 180 422 West Gurley Street.
But media production is going to be great. Fantastic. Check
Off
us out.
the chain. Come out and see it.
Off of the chain.
How you guys doing? I'm Andy. I rap in J.A.R.S. We perform at 180. You should come check us out at 180 422 West Gurley. It's a great place. There's good music. It could potentially change your life. It changed mine.
How's everybody doing? We're the group J.A.R.S. We'll be performing this weekend along with some other artists. Come check us out if you enjoy hip-hop, a variety of music, drama, and theater productions. 422 West Gurley. We hope to see you there.
Hi, my name is Chelsea. I'm with the 180 group called J.A.R.S, and we're going to be playing this Saturday at 422 West Gurley. We're going to be playing a variety of music, hip-hop. Come and check it out.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's all we needed. Sorry he didn't tell you. Now you can eat your burrito bowl.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yes, boys and girls,
men and women of all ages,
even dogs and cats.
we have here a special interview for you tonight from Andy Rosas, one of the hip-hop
Yes.
artists in the band J.A.R.S.
That's right.
What's up, y'all?
You've been in church for a long time. You guys actually came from another Potter's House church in Lompoc and moved here to Prescott. And you've been in church for a while. Tell us a little bit about, the church kid thing. I mean, were you saved? How did that all work out? And let's start there and move forward.
Yeah, so like you said, we came from California, and so I grew up in church, so that's kind of like a blessing and a cursing kind of thing. I was blessed, as far as like my parents go. Like they were very good to me. They were very very they gave me a lot of good advice. So there was nothing to complain about when it came to my house. And so they took me to church, and they tried to instill into me, as parents should, how to be a Christian, how to live right. But for me, I viewed church, I viewed all that as more of a hindrance to me than a blessing. Now obviously hindsight's 2020. Like I'm blessed that they brought me up in church, and they spared me from a lot of stuff.
How old are you now, Andy?
I'm 26 now.
So 26. And when did you guys move to Prescott?
We moved here when I was 11 years old.
So in about roughly, 24 years.
Yeah, so I was fairly young. I was fairly young, and my teenage years were spent here. I would say I grew up here, definitely.
So, I mean, knowing what's right and wrong, how did you take that, and where did you do with it?
I felt like it was a hindrance. I felt like a lot of people were having fun. Growing up, my personality, though, I've always been more of a risk taker, and I kind of learned by experiencing the hard way. It wasn't easy for me just for someone to say, hey, the fire's hot, don't touch it. I was more of, let me touch it to see for myself.
I can identify with that, actually, because my personality is quite similar. So correct me if I'm wrong, but you were saying that because at church you were taught about moral standards, it was a hindrance to you because you were seeking the thrills. And you found those thrills in what?
For me, I found the thrill with, being in with a certain crowd, and, partying, was a big thing. Getting involved with, women at that age, and
Partying, you mean doing drugs, drinking alcohol?
Yeah, so we would party, drinking, smoking weed at high school. Smoking weed.
But you were also an athlete, right?
Yeah. So I played football as well, and I got.
How did that were you hanging out with the boys? I mean, was that a common denominator?
That was a big influence in my life, playing sports, because I was fairly good. So I was able to get in with I guess you would call them the jocks, and I was able to get in with the crowd, and
so you were always invited to the party.
Yeah, I was always.
And that the party was just what you and Edgar were talking about.
Yeah, and that was what I felt like was fun. And at that age, it was fun, to be honest with you. If I'm going to be quite frank with you, it was fun at that age to.
So what made it unfun? I mean, what
Yeah.
Did you start to see people around you making bad choices that had unforeseen consequences, or where did you start to realize that maybe you should change your ways a little bit?
When I really started noticing it became a problem was when I graduated and went into college. I got a scholarship to play football for just as a kicker at a JUCO in Phoenix, and so the partying just progressed. Everything that I thought it was fun just got bigger. So the parties got bigger, everything got bigger and more. So then that's when I noticed in me that it just became, it was something that I needed now,
So this lifestyle essentially took you further than you were planning to go.
Yeah, exactly. I started doing a lot more drugs, and I started drinking a lot more, and to the point where I black out every night. You know, every time I drink, I blacked out. I didn't really have a gauge. You know?
I like how you put that, Edgar. I mean, you said it took you where you didn't want to go, but obviously it was a choice you made to go that direction.
Exactly.
But it kind of grabs onto us.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
we've all been in that scene, and we all probably can testify that, you know, we made that choice to do that because it was fun. And it grabs onto you, and then it doesn't want to let go. And then the deeper and deeper it gets, and then those deep waters, it becomes very dark.
Yeah.
And so now you made a choice to go into it. Now you're in them deep, dark waters, and where's the light come from? Where's the light?
So, you know, being involved in that type of environment, obviously heavier drugs get involved, you know. Now there's cocaine involved. Now it's like, now we're doing that. And so it got to a point where, like, myself knowing the truth, you know, I knew, you know, about God, and I started to realize, like, man, this is getting out of hand, you know. I ended up getting a DUI, you know, and so that opened my eyes, like, wow, like, this is. And I started seeing people that were getting in trouble, and I realized, like, I don't want my life to be like this.
You saw that you had to pay the piper.
Exactly.
It costs.
Exactly.
The Bible says that there's a cost to our sin.
Exactly.
And you were seeing that cost was becoming to be more and more expensive.
And not only just with the law, but also, like, myself, like, I started getting depressed, you know. Now, like, you know, drinking and stuff wasn't fun. Everybody has on their best face, and when everybody leaves, everybody goes back to their own worlds, and I felt like I was going back to a world I hated. I started to hate myself. I started to get depressed because I felt like my life wasn't going anywhere. Even though I was going to college and I felt like that is something, it just still felt empty. It wasn't really doing what it was supposed to do anymore.
So how did you find the answer?
Prayed. I asked God to come into my life, and actually was in a jail cell when I really got serious, and you know, a typical jailhouse prayer, but I really meant it. And I asked God, like, if I want to change, you know, I know you can change me. I know if you're real, just please help me out, you know.
So it wasn't this big grandiose thing. It was a simple prayer in a time where you were calling out to God, and bam, I mean, he makes himself real to you.
Exactly. And
How long ago was this?
This would have been when I was 19 years old when I said that prayer.
What's your life like now, man?
Now it's changed so much. Now I'm married. You know, I have a son.
Praise God.
I'm going to church. I haven't drank alcohol since then. I haven't, you know, done any drugs. I have a business, and God's blessing, man. My life is drastically different, you know. And not only that has God blessed me in the outside, but inside, like, I'm confident of where I'm going to go. I have a different view on life, you know, and it wasn't easy when I first prayed. It wasn't like, for me at least, it wasn't like I prayed and then all of a sudden every desire left me. For me, I was very stubborn, so my heart changed. I wanted to serve God, but now he started dealing with me about certain areas of my life where I had to give up, and it took a while for me to give up a lot of things, actually. But
So how has being a dad changed you?
well, to be honest with you, man, the way it's affected me, I like that. Realizing love, I feel like I view love in a different way now. Like, for example, before having a child, to me, love is something that, you know, you choose to give someone. For my wife, I chose to love her, but with my son, I loved him before I even saw him, you know, and I had this crazy love for him before I even met him. He never even did anything for me. You know, with your spouse, you cultivate that love, and with a son, it's already there, and they haven't done anything. And so I realized how, number one, my parents loved me, and secondly, ultimately, how God loved me.
Wow.
Was like a big thing, because I feel like, wow, God loves me like this, you know.
What advice would you give somebody, you know, like a young man or a young lady who's looking to find fulfillment in that lifestyle that all of us actually partook in for some time, the drugs, the alcohol, and the thrills?
Yeah. And that's a good point. I was trying to find my identity when I was saved. You're trying to find your position and who you are, what you represent. When people look at you like, this guy is this, right? So everyone's trying to find their identity. And the best advice I can give is the best place to find your identity is going back to the person who made you. Jesus Christ made me, and he knows my perfect identity. And because I surrendered to him, like now I'm living in that identity that he had for me. instead of trying to find it. So if you're struggling with identity, Jesus is the one who can do that.
Let's see it.